I had my chance, missed it, and then Kingsley had his chance and done literally all the hard work, got 3 balls away from winning, needed to play a stun shot and screwed it 4 feet.
Oh.
And it was just adrenaline,
well,
basically.
That's pressure, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it cost him.
Well, here we go then. Into the last 16 in the Ultimate Pool British Open we go. And worth pointing out, just in case you need a reminder, it is no lose pool from now on. The idea of a double elimination is all over. That dream has been whisked away. You lose now or you go home. It's that simple for those 16 players still left standing. We're not seeing Karl Sutton on the main table yet this weekend, but he's been lighting up the draw. Won the European Championships recently, did Carlos, and well, just from his results this weekend, you can tell he must be in very, very good form, and that is an excellent shot to kick things off in this visit.
Yeah, confident shot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All or nothing, but he was, unfortunately in that position after the break. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the draw, obviously no one, everyone is a good player in the last 16. But from Karl's point of view, it probably doesn't necessarily do him a favour playing out on the arena against Ian Ali, because you know Ian Ali's shot time is going to be quick wherever he's playing, whereas Karl's gone under the radar because he's been playing out on the back tables and he's been able to...
Just how he likes it.
Exactly. Yeah. Take his time, plan, plot his clearances. So, yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't throw him off, because, you know, he deserves to be here. He's played great all weekend.
Yeah, it looks to be in really, really fine fettle. Does Karl. He's got plenty of experience out here. Let's not forget he's a Pro Series champion. He's won the Pairs Cup as well. And in the last 12 months, maybe a little bit longer, he's generally been there or thereabouts as a top quality Ultimate Pool player that sort of lived up to the billing.
Yeah, definitely. He's a top 16 player, isn't he? And he has been for a good, year and a half in the top 16 in the rankings, I think. So
yeah, but for a funny, whatever reason it may have been, as the Ultimate Pool journey begun, he wasn't quite up there, and I think Karl was starting to get a little bit despondent. You know, you can't forget, before he won that first Pro Series title, he won it in the third event, and the 5 events prior to third weekend, I should say, and in the 5 events prior to that victory, he'd gone out first poke in every single event, and he was starting to lose a bit of faith with it all. His confidence was at rock bottom. All of a sudden, there is no substitute for winning matches. And since then, Karl has gone from strength to strength, and the confidence that you can see he's carrying with him at the moment, a result, I'm sure, of a fantastic result over in Killarney a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember having the conversation with him on the tour a couple of years back, really, and saying, you know, how do you feel it's going? What's sort of going wrong? And he was saying, I don't think I can compete with the top boys, you know. And I was saying, well, look, that's sort of how I feel, but the difference between you and me is you've won multiple top titles.
You've already done it, yeah.
So you know you can compete.
He left himself a tough shot there, though. And the first real error of the game comes in from Karl Sutton. I do just wonder, with the way that frame panned out, Karl played a screw shot towards the start of his visit, and I'm pretty sure he wanted to be on the second of the reds at the top of the table and had to reroute, and that's ultimately come back to bite him a little bit, because that transition shot was tough. And
he probably sort of in his head a little bit thought the writing was on the wall when he didn't get on that ball, fourth from last, really, because you never want to be coming down the table and splitting your work if you can get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is exactly what Ian wants. 5 balls out in the open. Just to get himself used to the table. Yeah,
nice little starter, and that is definitely a thing. Players have been telling us all weekend. It's tricky conditions out there on the main table. It's playing well when you know exactly what it's doing, but you almost need to get to that stage first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a lot can be said about the conditions this weekend, because going from playing the outside tables all weekend to playing on this table is massively different, because this table in the arena, generally this area is a lot colder. Great hit from Karl.
And he is going to make a ball. Yeah, really good hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good. Not punished by the pool gods for the mistake in the last frame. Normally it costs you 2 with a dry one, but yeah, he's got a ball, so he'll be happy to be at the table. Albeit, tricky layout. Ideally, he probably wants yellows, but this yellow at the bottom of the table is a... Great shot.
Felt okay for time there, don't think there was any issues. Were you, I completely don't know the answer to this question because my head's been boiled over the last 48 hours. But remind me, Chris, were you out in Killarney for the Euros?
No.
No.
No. I haven't played England for good 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It just something told me you might have been.
No. I will go out and try and play the World Championships wherever that is because, as I've said before, you know, the World Championships is what you dream of when you're growing up, and
yeah,
it's
that's
ingrained
pinnacle,
into me. Yeah. Regardless of, you know, if you can win the World Championships and there isn't as good a field in the Pro Series, I'd still rather win a World Championship at the moment.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I have a suspicion with how it's set up this year that it will be a very, very competitive field.
Yes. This year's will certainly be one to win, I think.
Yeah.
There'll be no, oh, you've won it with not so many people in the draw this year.
Yeah, absolutely. But it hasn't been officially announced yet. I'm not too sure what has been officially said, so I'm going to lock my lips for now. I do know that the official announcement from Ultimate Pool is coming up very, very soon, though.
Yeah,
so,
you don't want to do a Tom Holland, do you? and give it away?
Yeah, don't think we're holding information from you folks. I just don't want to get a slap on the wrist and ruin anybody's surprise. So, yeah, the update with the World Championships is coming very, very soon, and it will be very exciting. Spoke to Chris Melling earlier, joined him on commentary, asked him how his day had gone. He ran into Ian Alley. He was the one who put Ian into the loser's side, and he said that Ian looked really, really sharp when he played him. Didn't really do an awful lot wrong, which, you know, can check out when you're playing a player like Chris Melling.
Yep.
He has made a mistake here, though.
As you've commentated, Kirsty.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, Ian's actually the guy that knocked me out of the winner's side. I think I missed a ball at 7-6 down, and that was it. That was my last go.
I think he was trying to squeeze yellow through to play off the yellow there, which
was yeah.
I'm not even sure the shot was on, to be honest with you, but he wasn't left with much else. So both players making a mistake in frame number 2, and it's Karl who gets second stab first.
Yeah, and I think the yellow's gone into a position on the left-hand side there where it's not immediately possible. So Karl deciding to take the finish on as a sort of half a free hit, really.
Yeah, that was a tricky leave as well.
Yeah.
Ian's played to make that full-blooded, and how it's finished is a little bit of a mystery, but to leave him completely Chinesed over the red like that was a good result for him, I'd say.
Yes.
He's not got much on here, though. What can he produce?
Trying to load it up with bottom left by the looks of it. Ooh, always looked a bit thin for that, but didn't have much else on.
But it has made it a bit smelly for Karl.
It has, yeah. I think he'll just drop this on and off the cushion, potentially. Leave it over the bag, down the bottom, and sort of say, over to you, Ian.
Yeah, you'd be surprised to see Karl go for these, just because he knows that if he goes for them and doesn't get them, it's frame over. Whereas he can use this situation to his advantage. He's in no rush.
Correct. When there's one each of the balls tied up, a red and yellow as they are here, basically the person with the most balls on the table is generally favourite.
Yeah, if Karl was to go for these, and don't get me wrong, he could go for them and get them, but he's got one shot to play, and if it goes wrong, all of a sudden he could very, very easily lose the frame.
Correct, yeah. Generally, the only way you can lose the frame from here would be to go for them and not get them.
He's got to find a way to develop his position so much that he does feel like he can go.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Ian will take a freebie if he's offered a freebie, but Ian's very much in the similar boat here. He's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to give you it either. Bit of a stalemate.
Yeah, I think Ian's last shot when he played the yellow next to the red, I think he was trying to just nudge it out so the red still doesn't go, but the yellow's possibly available for a double, so he's leaving himself an option. I'm not sure if he can with these. I don't think the yellow doubles anywhere, looking at them at the moment, so yeah, again, Ian's in a bit of a tricky spot.
He's not left anything easy for Karl. Another sort of containing shot.
Yeah, both just playing a little bit of a waiting game here.
Last person to sit on this table. Pulled out shot of the championship, shot of the year.
Oh, I've just seen it. I've just literally just seen it on Facebook.
One of the, yeah, it's comfortably the best shot I've ever commentated on.
I'm surprised he didn't celebrate it more, to be honest.
Just madness.
I
was just laughing. I genuinely almost fell out of my chair.
I can exclusively reveal to you that he is my pairs cup partner for the year.
That's more mental than the shot he played.
We're going to be called the 8 Bald Twins.
Yeah, nice. Very good.
So yeah, expect to see more of that on a Monday night soon, folks.
Oh, goodness me. What a pairing.
Yeah, I thought that might tickle you.
Yeah, that's great news. Champions League has been fantastic entertainment, but there is something about the pairs. It is probably, I think, pound for pound, my favourite Ultimate Pool competition. And yeah, I think we've run it for a little while now. It's a lovely. Just roll the turn, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He's just looking to block the yellow out in the open here. Ian's done a good job of getting it over near to the other yellow so that, you know, if Karl did leave him the angle, he could potentially try and play a shot where he splits it out. Ooh. I think Ian was just trying to get cushion first onto the yellow to nudge the red out and leave the white behind the yellow, because obviously he would have snookered him on the 2 at the top, and the 2 at the bottom were covering each other, so it would have been a clever shot if he'd managed it.
Yeah, now Karl can finally play the shot that should win him the frame.
Yeah.
Unless Ian pulls a rabbit out of the hat. But yeah, we'll ask plenty of people. CD, you ever seen a better shot than Karl's in competition?
Not in competition, not on the you know, on the main table when it mattered the most. No. That was. It's a shot a lot of people do try and play, myself included.
Yeah.
In fairness.
Well, it's an exhibition shot essentially.
But
isn't
yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, you have to have a guy called Houdini to play that shot, don't you?
Yeah.
And anyone else plays it, just doesn't seem right.
The most impressive thing Houdini's done since that water tank in Paris.
I was very disappointed the camera didn't pan straight into Scott Gillespie's face, though. Straight after it went in.
I think they've got hearts. Well, you got to say, I mean, leads on nicely. The route Scott Gillespie's had through to this afternoon. I know you've obviously been caught up in your own activities, but goodness me, Scott to get through that game was granite, really.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. Managed to block enough of it out. And then he was 9-2 down to Lewis Roberts and won that match 10-9, which is astonishing. And his reward, Jack Whelan in the last 16. I would say worth the wait because it's a fantastic hit. He has got a ball. Thought for a second he wasn't going to be rewarded, but he struck these beautifully. Key ball straight up down the middle of the table.
He'll be having a look at these yellows, I think. Bit of work to do over this left-hand side.
Yeah, is there... Do you think there's cannons to be played, or will he try and pick them apart?
Depends. Depends how he's feeling. I've seen Ian play both ways. I've seen him play where he's, you know, feeling really, really good, and he's sort of cannoning into balls, thinking it doesn't matter where they land, I'll pot them anyway. And I've seen him where he's taking them apart, and it looks like that's what he's doing this time. I think he's just dropping in. Yeah, little cannon there. So the yellow that he's closest to, I don't think goes in the left middle, but we'll go in the right middle if he can get on it.
Yeah, that almost felt like the link to me, like you could use the ball he just potted to maybe take that one over to the right middle, but of course you have to get rid of the one in the middle of the table first before that can be a possibility, so it just needs a little bit of working out.
Yeah, he could try and get on it now from this ball in the middle pocket and go up and down the left-hand side of the table, knowing that if he overhits it slightly, he's still on the ball at the bottom, so he's got potentially 2 goes at it.
Yeah, just don't underhit it.
Yeah. Nothing for short. And mind the jaw.
Oh, he's perfect. Great shot he's played there.
That'll do him.
Yeah, lovely shot that from Ian Ali. Favour's certainly the favour in this frame now.
Judged that really well. If he'd hit it any harder, probably would have trapped on the cushion a little bit and not come up as far.
Well, a very tidy visit to sail from Ian Ali. A lovely break and clearance. I tell you what, just to confirm some of the losers' qualification results that we didn't know. Ryan Pisani beat Scott Yardley 7-3. Sean Story beat Craig Waddingham 7-3. Lewis Roberts beat Zach Cooper 7-6. That would have been a very, very long drive back to Stamford for Lewis if that had gone the other way.
Yeah, I hope he wasn't 6-0 up, bless him. But unfortunately for Carlos, dry break. Good chance for Ian on yellows.
Yeah, Declan Brown Lewis Roberts is officially listed as live on the scoring system, but I wonder if they've put in a little bit of a mercy rule there and said to both players, take half an hour.
Yeah, I think so. Because Lewis, I think, would have been the last match to finish, wouldn't he, if he was 7-6. So I'd imagine it's literally finished in the last 5 minutes or so. So they're letting Lewis potentially have a bit of fresh air.
Well, that doesn't need to be played until they could essentially shake hands, sign a truce, and play it at 10 o'clock if they wanted. I'm sure they don't, but yeah, I won't keep an eye on that scoreline for a little while. I think they can let Lewis see the fresh air and the outside world for half an hour at least. You have Ian Ali at the table here. He's going to slide that one in, but he's got trouble abound here.
Yeah, he's unfortunate because, I mean, that's the reason he didn't take the shot on last time he was on it, because he was slightly low. So he played the one top right to try and move the 2 on the left-hand side, but ended up in exactly the same position. So felt like he was forced to take it on, and that's the reason why he didn't want to. But he has got one of Karl's balls tied right up.
Cool. Not a position you want to be in.
Never. Never.
Nice plant from Karl, drags it in. Just wonder if, I mean, it's horrible, but I think he can make the red. It's available. It has a pocket.
Well, he's gonna obviously roll off this one on the left-hand cushion and leave Ian in trouble, you would think. But it is one of those situations where ball in hand, you know, might not necessarily be the end of frame just yet, even if he gets ball in hand. But I mean, this is a decent target for Ian to hit off 2 cushions.
Well, he wants him to hit these. Ultimately, Ian's got to target the open yellow, you'd imagine. I'm surprised to see him go into these like that. It's come up okay for him, yeah.
And he's blocked off the red's on the left-hand side of the table as well, so... Yeah, still a little bit of a tricky spot for Karl, because to lay a snooker, he's potentially got to take another ball off the table to do so, which you don't really want to do in this position.
Yeah, and I think there was potentially an argument for going there. It wasn't easy. I think percentage play, you'd absolutely do what Karl's doing now. He's going to do the same thing again, you'd imagine.
Yeah, if he gets him right in behind this red on the right-hand side, it will be harder to hit this time. But again, I'll go back to it. You know, if Karl does get ball in hand here, you know, barring a double or a treble or some sort of
can't do much with it,
outrageous shot to move that ball out, it's really difficult because there's nothing near it to move it out. And if you're coming at it essentially from the bottom of the table, like you will be, you're only pushing it into another yellow. So
Karl quite wants Ian to move this for him, but he's played a really good shot there.
It's a good shot.
Any harder,
yeah,
and Karl's achieved exactly what he wanted to, and the red goes.
Correct. But I think for Ian, the red doesn't go, but those two yellows might possibly plant down the left-hand side. So Karl's in a bit of a spot here.
Can you dump him in behind the red again?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think he's going to leave him behind this red at the bottom of the table. So yeah, he's played it really well.
Karl is a master at this sort of game.
Yeah.
He's one of those players that's often frequently joked to me that the getting rid of world rules is the worst thing that ever happened to him as a pool player.
He's not joking.
I know he's not joking. I know he means that with every fibre of his being. Don't you worry. But he was an absolute master craftsman at that rule set.
Yep. Yeah, again, it's better for him if he needs to go into the red and try and move it now. If he can work out a way of getting round and getting into that red, which he might potentially have to do. Because
the sort of red in the middle of the table feels like the most obvious ball for that, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Because these shots Karl's playing here...
to move it again.
Yeah, but I mean...
Might Ian go for the plan that you talked about?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, because it's not a shot to nothing, because obviously if he got it wrong, he'd push the red out, but...
Oh, it's disaster.
Might not be. If it doesn't go in the middle, then he's had a touch, because the long plant is a lot harder than the long straight pot that it would have been if the other red wasn't there.
Well, if it goes in the middle, to quote Brassai, it's the one thing he did not want to happen.
The plant it is.
Oh, it's a great shot, you know.
Great shot, yeah.
A lot of distance between those two balls there. And he bridges them beautifully.
Nailed it. Just be looking to get to the one on the side cushion now, and then he'll feel like the work is done.
Well, we know from his results just how well Karl's been playing, but I wonder if the manner of those victories have been similar to this, where he's just sort of he's ground his opponents down with just clever play, or if he has just been king of the dishes.
Yeah, I think it's an aspect of his game that probably gets overlooked, but he's perfectly capable of absolutely dishing people off the table.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, obviously we've seen the Christie Caulfield result this morning. 10-1 in 35 minutes, so there's only a handful of people that can do that in that sort of time, which will be, Christie, Chippy, Sheppy, Chris Mellin potentially.
Yeah, let him have a break. Ian's made a ball.
Yeah, good
hit. He's breaking really well, Ian. From the three that he's hit them all beautifully. Yeah,
and he's hitting them really hard as well. That was something I noticed when I played against him. He's absolutely smashing the break. Bit unlucky that, again, two balls have come together on the right-hand side. And it's a bit awkward around the top area as well. He'll be looking at the yellows potentially and trying to break that ball out. If he gets the angle here. Just going sort of bottom cushion and into the red and yellow. It will help if the other yellow below the 8 ball goes in the corner. If it goes in only in the middle, then this becomes tricky. Unless he's almost got it in the middle.
Was the only downside to that shot. I mean, to be fair to him, he's been really unlucky because if he's not there, he's on a yellow.
Correct, yeah. I mean,
so he has been quite unlucky.
He was looking to hit. It didn't matter which one he hit. He was looking to just hit one of them half ball, which would have essentially sent the cue ball up the table. So
he's essentially said to Karl there, "Go on over to you, pal. If you get them fair play."
Yeah, I think
he's not really done much with that.
I think he wanted a better cue ball than he's got, because obviously he's left the opener, and over the right-hand side of the table, the red goes in off the yellow, which opens up the red on the top cushion in either pocket, so it gives Karl a lot more options.
Yeah.
Everything else goes.
Well, we need to make the first one though, Carlos.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he was trying to put the cue ball behind the red there, was he? I think he was going for the pot, because he didn't really play position, did he?
He's almost played a shot to nothing, hasn't he? But that seemed strange.
Yeah, it didn't seem to play position there. I'm not sure if he was trying to get the cue ball tight up against the red potentially, but not sure what he was gaining from it. Maybe ball in hand if he got it.
Yeah, but he very much hasn't, and Ian is not going to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah. If he's got the angle and he can just miss the red on the side cushion, it should go off the side cushion and into the 8 ball and the yellow potentially. Yeah, I think that's what he was playing.
Again, has he been a little unfortunate?
Yeah.
Or was he probably a little bit too aggressive?
Yeah, it's one of those shots that catches you out on this table, because he's dug into it ever so slightly to get the angle, which you need to do on the outside tables, but on this table it's more of a natural angle because of the slide off the second cushion. Or off the first cushion, I should say, after contact. Good hit, but unfortunately for Ian, the yellow hasn't gone in the way of the red to make this harder for Karl, so here's the chance that he wanted. Yeah, just making a little bit hard work of getting on this ball on the top rail. He didn't want to get on it after his first shot, because he essentially would have been dead straight on it. And that's okay, but not as good as he wanted to be, so he's put himself under a little bit of pressure here. But just needs to pot it, nothing to do with the cue ball. Never in doubt.
Yeah, that's come up really nicely for him.
Yeah, so just wants to take the one to the right as we're looking and get straight on the one to the left, so he can drop it in for the 8, the opposite corner. That'll do. Want me to drag it in. Hit them brilliantly, and he's been rewarded.
And he'll go for these.
Been rewarded with the yellows. He won't be playing safe here.
It's one of those where the split's so good you could almost take both.
Yeah, if you were practicing, you'd probably take reds.
Yeah, just give yourself a challenge.
Yeah. I do wonder though, if the I know we've mentioned him a couple of times, if the Lewis Roberts Gillespie match was out on the stream and Lewis was 9-2 up, would he have been able to You know, as Goobsy was coming back, would he have been able to take enough time out of the clock to win it? It's a completely different game out here, isn't it?
It is a completely different game, absolutely. I think from what I've heard about that match, admittedly, only from Goobs, and you'll know yourself as a player, sometimes the worst person to ask how a match went is the player actually involved within it. But it sounds like it was a very, very high standard. So the one that kills match clocks is lots of bitty frames. I don't think there was many in that from what I can tell. But you're absolutely right. One of the best things that can happen in this sport is massive comebacks, and they should always be protected at all costs. Did see a good example, CD, here's one for you. So first match of the, one of the first matches of the entire tournament we had on the arena table.
Yep.
Matty Challen played Joe O'Connor 10-8, so almost the full allocated amount of frames, and that match finished with comfortably over 9 minutes left on the match clock.
Yeah. What a player Matty Challen is.
Yeah, looks a real good player. Me neither.
Yeah.
Had been told by a couple that he was, very handy.
Yeah.
But having spoken to him in the studio afterwards, he said he's sort of one of those annoying blokes who's sort of quite naturally very good, but doesn't really put the time in that he'd have to be consistently at the top level.
That's how it looked to me, to be fair. I played him in one of the earlier rounds, well, a couple of rounds ago, I should say. Yeah, and it was the difference was literally a couple of tactical frames.
So Ian Alley back on his break, and it once again is very, very successful. Bit of a miss hit on that occasion though. Which is a good sign on your break if you can even make a ball off the ones you can, completely miss hit.
Yeah, a bit of jump action on the cue ball after he hit it, but I mean, if you can find an open in yellow, he won't be too disappointed. Because the yellow by the 8 ball is the ideal one to break out his bad ball, which will be the shot coming up just now. And he's guaranteed to land on the yellow just above the cue ball now in the right centre when he plays this breakout shot if he hits it full ball.
That'll do. It's okay. Again,
Yeah.
it's another example where Ian's played either a cannon or a developmental shot, and he's got about as unlucky as he possibly could. He'll still be okay here, but that would come out certainly more awkward than it needed to.
Yeah, it does make this yellow in the bottom of the table.
He's got to play a real shot here.
It's only available in 3 pockets, so yeah, he'll just screw back past it, I think. Or stun. Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
Playing it off the red?
He'll have to now. I think he was trying to stun it. Or maybe it goes.
Oh, if it goes clean, then forget what I said. Oh, yeah, ignore me.
There we go.
Usually a good rule of thumb. There was me trying to give Ian Alley some credit and say, oh, he's been really tough. Oh, he's come out perfect.
We're just trying to create drama for you folks at home.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's the aim of the game.
Yeah.
Sort of what we expected from our last 16 ties. We've got 5 on at the minute, and there is not a single one of them with a 2-frame difference. It's tight. Don't think we'll see many matches where one player really runs away with it.
No.
Because everyone's had to play so well just to be here.
Yeah, everyone's in. Everyone's played themselves in, if you want to analyse, as a batsman.
Yeah, and I do just wonder, because it has been, it's felt like a tournament where, some players have had to play a lot of games just to be at this stage, where almost like, because it feels almost slightly bigger than it is, so you put a little bit more on it, and players are naturally a little bit, sort of a bit more sensible maybe, and a little bit less free-flowing. Don't think we're going to see anyone blow someone away 6 frames in a row in a match of these stakes. If you can sort of see what I'm getting at.
I do. I do.
I'm glad you do. I wasn't entirely sure myself. Last 16 of a pro series, for example, there's plenty of players who just play 2 matches to get there, and they might not even be playing particularly well, or but you can't say that of anybody of the 16 left in this tournament.
Everyone here has played at least 4 matches, haven't they?
Yeah, and some have played significantly more.
Correct.
Love to know, actually. I might get some stats people on that to figure out who's played the most frames in this tournament at this stage. Me and Ali. So that match will be match. Oh, I've missed a section.
Because they've moved it around for the TV table, haven't they, on there? So.
Oh, you're very right. Yeah. Do you know what? Glad you're with me, CD. You're keeping me correct.
Not a problem. Here for the technical stuff. That's me.
Yep.
Another fantastic break for me and Ali. Got a ball. Again, I wouldn't say a nice, easy open split, but not something that Ian's going to turn down, I wouldn't imagine.
Well, yeah, the reason why you've pointed that out, I've just realised, is because the actual quarter of that draw is Christy Caulfield, Ryan Pisani, Scott Pope, and some bloke called Chris Day.
That's it.
Which, further to the point that I was just making, whoever becomes a semi-finalist out of that foursome would be a huge result for all 4 of those players, I think.
It would, yeah. Yeah, with, if you're taking out the champion of champions, which I lost in the final of, then a quarter final would be, my furthest.
We won't take out the champion of champions. That doesn't seem very fair.
It wasn't a ranking event though, was it?
Yeah, but you can't. Of course, it's not a ranking event. You can't make a champion of champions a ranking event.
I need the points.
You didn't need any more that year. You've done enough. So a little tactical exchange to get us started in frame number 9.
Yeah, Karl might fancy this yellow in the middle if it goes. Would be nudging the 8 ball potentially, so would be guaranteed to be on the yellow bottom left. The other yellows all do go. It just depends. And there you go. Karl's decided. Rather you have a go at the reds than I have a go at the yellows just yet. I think he's left the red in the middle, so I think Ian will be having a go because he can potentially put the red in the middle and screw to the left hand side, which gets him on his difficult red at the top of the table. Or he can play into it.
Yeah, look how well that's come out.
Yeah, and this time you have to say he's been a little bit fortunate because he's played the cannon and he's landed, if he can see enough to cut it in, he's landed on the ball, he's cannoned.
Yeah, I actually think it's gone slightly low on the middle pocket, so he's very thin on it. And he could just cheat the pocket a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, match tables, Ian, watch those. Take a chunk out your cue, hit them any harder.
It's been unfortunate again. And this time doesn't seem like there's anywhere to hide the cue ball either. This is where the shot clock is tough because he's got to try and find something here.
3 ball plant?
Yeah, might have to be.
First time
Ian's used an extension, I think, in 8 frames.
Probably a little weekend. Yeah, he's looking at the 3 ball plant here. Red 8 ball red.
Yeah, very tough that. Bit of a good cue ball though.
Yeah, and if the 8 board covered the yellow at the top left corner, it'd have been an unbelievable result for him.
Yeah, definitely.
But as it is,
he's blocked off the easy ones though. It's just this one at the top of the table that Karl's forced into taking on.
You got to fancy these though, don't you? At this stage of the tournament.
Yeah.
I say, it's going to be another percentage pool masterclass from Senor Sutton.
Yep.
I can tell you, Dave McNamara, Chris Melling has gone hill.
It was Mellin that was a couple of frames behind in that one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
Dave was 9-7 up.
is he going to have the momentum? Depends whether D just missed a couple of chances or whether it's...
Yeah, it's one of the things that I really am so keen to stay in the game, which sometimes a match clock can almost threaten to take away. But it's those deciders. There's no clock there, so they're always going to play the decider.
Yeah.
You know, to most observers, it's very much sort of, well, if you don't make this, you are losing the frame. It's going to the decider. Tom has the break.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him in the arena, was there any consideration to maybe doing it another way? And he said, no, absolutely not. That was the shot. And he was like, then it becomes me versus, am I good enough to win it? And he overcame the test, won the trophy. And there's a lot to be said for that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a big difference, and there's a lot of people that sort of embrace and run towards the finishing line. There's a lot of people that are scared of the finishing line.
Yeah.
And you know, it goes.
Well, look at the world final from the same tournament in Morocco.
Yeah.
You know, Clayton Castaldi, Josh Kane.
Yeah.
Clayton was absolutely steamrolling Josh. I can tell you, actually, just on the subject of Melling and Dave McNamara, Chris Melling has done it. 10-9 win from 9-7 down. That'll be a tough one for Teach to take, no matter how that's ended up. But
what a shot from Carlos to open up the frame here.
Yeah, terrific. But
Yeah.
you know, that world final that you was just mentioning, Clayton versus Josh, that match was enhanced by how much both players were absolutely feeling it at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, Clayton could barely hold his cue, let alone pot a ball in the final few frames, and it made for unbelievable drama.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, obviously I was there the year before against Ronan in Ireland.
Yeah.
And the biggest disappointment for me that I felt at the time was that I was ready to win. I
didn't get the chance
good.
to.
Yeah. I felt really good. I felt like I was gonna, if my chance was there, I wanted it, and I felt like I was gonna take it, rather than, you know, earlier parts of my career I've sat in the chair in situations like that in matches that were getting away from me and just wanted it to have been finished. Didn't want any more chances.
Yeah. And that's a big thing, you know, and that's part of, you know, ultimately what made Ronan's win, if you like, more impressive, because yes, he got the chances, but in a world final, those chances are not easy to take. That's part of it, is playing them to that sort of level.
Yeah, he ran towards the finish line.
Karl Sutton has ran towards the 8-ball here. He's taken out a beautiful finish. Really, really good that from Carlos.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed the outer matches, because I think when the Supreme Series, oh dear,
that is a brutal in-off green alley. I mean, that is brutal. Look where that cue ball started. How have you gone bottom left in from there?
It's hit most balls on the table to get down there, isn't it? I knew it was in before it passed the 8-ball.
Yeah, there's the teapot.
What a split as well.
Yeah, and it goes. Like, he knows he's 7-4 down. That's what that face tells you.
Yeah, popping back to your point, when the Supreme Series was here a few years back, they were races to 11 winners side and races to 8 losers side, but they'd allocated a clock of, I think, 2 3/4 hours per match for the winner side, whereas the clock that's been allocated for the winner side this time round was an hour and a half
hour and
for
a
a
half,
race to 10. And although on Friday I think it got a bit sticky and they were behind a little bit on the outside tables.
Got to remember though as well,
today,
to that point, you know, a lot more amateurs in the opening rounds as well, who probably haven't endured that 3 years of training, if you like, on 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, today's flown.
Yeah, correct. And obviously, you know, Phil does actually shake his head a lot less nowadays, Phil Harrison. which you know, I never want to see that leave the game because I quite enjoy a Phil head shake when he's perfect. To be honest,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
He does do it less now.
Yeah, you can go into all your modern stats and all the rest of it. What the X head shakes are for Phil Harrison. Shot clock or no shot clock.
But yeah, it's just the way it is. I mean, as you know, I do practice quite a lot and put quite a lot in with regards to the clock as well. And one of the aspects of it is just to try and teach myself how to see finishes quicker. Because
Well, that's ultimately the training, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not, can I play a shot in 30 seconds?
Yeah.
It's how quickly can I see the finish, because that's the skill that you basically really need.
Yeah. Can I find the first shot sometimes that's unimportant of the clearance so that I can still work it out potentially? That's the sort of level of experience you're trying to get to, really, because sometimes, 30 seconds or 15 seconds plus an extension is just not enough time to work out a finish. You have to give yourself all that time, pot a ball, and try and give yourself the next 15 seconds to still work it out.
Yeah, it's hugely important. Karl's taking these out smoothly, as he sort of expected him to do so. And Ian Ali absolutely expected him to do so when that break came out. Chris Melling is the first man through into the quarterfinals. He beat Dave McNamara 10-9.
Golden break.
Yeah, that 8-ball will come back up, don't you worry, Carlos.
From front ball.
Yeah, just went straight in. That's so rare.
Save them for Monday nights, Carlos.
The key thing is, for me, and Karl spotted it straight away, was he was desperate to make another ball. Because,
Yeah.
for me, I love international rules. The single worst rule in international rules is this.
The only rule I would change.
Yeah, it's the only rule I change as well.
Yeah.
Is if you make just the 8-ball off the break, that should count as
It should still be your go.
You should still be at the table.
Correct.
Yeah, that'd be the only rule I'd change if I was president of the world for one day.
Red's nominated.
Change a couple of other things as well. So he's nominated Reds here, Karl. That was an important change. It's an important shot. I think he'll take it. Has he got a gap?
If he's got that gap, he'll be happy.
He's incredibly lucky if he has. That's the gap that only an informed player can find. The little intangibles. Is he on this one to top right? He is, Look at that. Oh, it's lovely. He's missed his cannon though, so he's digging.
Yeah, there'll be a little bit of a head shake going on in the Ian Ali corner at the moment, I think, after that.
Right into his pocket as well, he knew straight away.
Tough one this for Karl. He needs to play it at a pace where I'm not sure if he can avoid the yellow or not. Play it really, really slow and try and go on and off the cushion and avoid the yellow, or put a bit of pace into it knowing you're going to hit the yellow. Yeah, we went for the pace option.
It's a lovely shot. Right back in control now.
Yeah, you can tell when Karl's in his full flow because he often walks around the table, looks like he's not got a care in the world. Almost like it's a bit of a chore for him to be there.
Yeah, he's a lovely player to watch, Karl. When he's on song, he's a beautiful, beautiful player to watch. Love the way he goes about it. He's got great gameplay, great match play.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the 8-ball rather goes bottom left as we're looking. So I think he might have to, if he can, take the top one of the two reds and just leave the bottom one into this bottom right-hand corner and just top through the gap of the yellows for the 8-ball in the same pocket. But he obviously thinks that's not possible, so he's going for the bottom one of the two reds first.
Yeah, and can just stun down.
Yeah, for the 8 in the centre.
Got all the Everything you need to be a top player, Karl Sutton. You ever had a chance to use Carlos's cue, mind?
Yes, I have.
It is.
Ooh.
Oh, that's how you know you're on good form. That's how you know you're on good form.
Oh.
It thought about it.
Ian Alley's
It
face.
even had a little wiggle into the pocket.
Oh. If he doesn't get a little bit of a wave from Karl once he's finished this one, when are you going to wave? Dead straight though, these are horrible. What a shot. And then I've gradually come back up, and luckily my sponsor Dr. Q has made me a lovely cue which I've been using now for sort of almost a year or so. But I'm just over a 9mm tip, and I've got a brake cue that's very, very heavy and suits my cut brake perfectly and my front brake. So yeah, no more tinkering for me, JMO.
Oh, no need.
No need.
Yeah, I once played a impromptu doubles match with Karl Sutton.
That was out in Morocco, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Me and Karl versus Shane Thompson and Simon Webb.
Yeah.
I won't tell you who won. I wouldn't like to embarrass them.
Yeah, more than once, wasn't it?
Not for me to say, Chris. Not for me to say. We're using Karl's cue as well.
Oh, the modesty. The modesty. Did you get a trophy or not?
Should have.
Yeah.
Got the prize of seeing Shane's face, but I mean,
The face on the face, hey? Right, screw into the... No. Obviously happy with where they are. I thought he was going to deep screw that into the red and try and move the 8-ball in the yellow, potentially. Might be this time round. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, how'd you like those? It's not the worst result, this.
Well,
I say that. I'm trying to work out where the 8-ball's going. I don't think you can double it anywhere.
no. I think this yellow he's closest to goes in off the red in the middle if he wants it, but he's going for the 2 up the top. So, yeah, if he could have potted that and landed on his next ball as he was, I think he was going to come across to this side of the table, take the yellow into the bottom left, and go into the 8.
Yeah. But not to be.
Not an easy chance for Carlos though, but he'll be happy to be at the table. I mean, when you're 8-4 up, you just appreciate the fact that your opponent's missed and that you've got another go, because they almost feel like a bit of a free swing.
Yeah, that yellow is going to cause Karl some grief on the bottom right of the table, but he's got balls around it to work around. Just a little update from around the tables. Declan Brennan, Lewis Roberts is Desmond.
Yeah.
Christy Caulfield, Ryan Pisani is 7-all. And Josh Gaines won 1 back against Reece Townsend. That's now 6-4 to Reece.
I'm telling you, Declan Brennan, Lewis Roberts 2-2. They might as well just have a decider now. Rakes the left-hand side on this for Carlos.
Oh, that's a good shot.
Yep.
So what do you do with this 8-ball, Chris? Do you try and go again and go into the well and move it, or do you settle for a double?
Well, personally, I'm trying to move it, because
red over the right middle
are not my forte.
Yeah, well, the red over the middle looks tempting, doesn't it? But getting to the angle to then come into the 8 isn't particularly easy. But also, sending the 8 down the table, you're sending it towards that yellow.
Correct.
So he may just decide to stick with it. As a non-doubler, if you were going to move it, what are you looking at here?
Well, potentially, because of the way my brain works, if I had to play the 8-ball, I would want to leave the cue ball sort of where it is now after I potted the reds, and I would probably be playing the treble just so I've covered the bag if I miss it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like
because
that. There's a lot of capital in that.
Chances of me getting a treble are about as good as the chance of me getting a double anyway. So why not cover a bag if I don't get it? It looks like he is going to leave himself the angle of just straight or slightly off straight on this red over the middle. Good things can potentially happen if he hits it hard enough, tops it into the 8 ball. Could pot the yellow, leave himself on it, nudge the yellow out the way. I think he's come a little too far, has he? Yeah, I think so. So it's going to be the double. Maybe that was his plan all along. Not hard enough.
He's short here. This is some shot to play.
Yeah, he's going to have to really deep screw the cue ball here to straighten up the 8 ball off the cushion, you would think.
For 9-4.
Oh.
I don't think he was a million miles off that, you know, but
but he's had a touch.
The gap wasn't much. Ian's just had a little look to the heavens.
Oh dear. When it's not your day.
And you have to say, for as well as Karl's played, and he has played very well,
Yeah.
Ian has had next to no run in this match.
So he's got 2 shots on here. He can cut this one bottom right if he wants to, or he can play the cue ball off the left-hand cushion onto the yellow, half ball to pot the yellow over the top left.
He's going 1 cushion for the top left. Judged this well, and hasn't he just? Great shot.
Great shot.
I think Ian's thoughts were, if I cut the one to the bottom right, I'll send it 4 times across the table and be behind the 8 ball again.
Yeah. It's a good finish from Ian. Keeps Carlos off of the hill. Just want to welcome aboard all the Tottenham fans that have probably just turned off the football, tuned in.
You're a bad man.
Yes I am.
Just want a little bit of light relief after being pumped at Craven Cottage. Fire up Ultimate Pool TV and Chris the Gooner Day is giving him straight to him.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
They got a lot further than we did in the FA Cup, to be fair to them. So
I was going to say, who did you have this weekend?
yeah, no one. Karl will be disappointed there because that was a really good chance to get on the hill. He doesn't want to give away quick fire frames to Ian.
No, not at all.
This is a good chance. Yeah, he's just high enough there. He's going to have to potentially take this one on the right-hand side, which probably would have been my last ball, but I think he's having to take it to connect to the one at the top. Yeah, fine. Just wants to get towards the side cushion, but not on it. So yeah, that's fine. You can punch past.
This match is not over yet, CD. Got to credit both players here. For Karl's part, he's been brilliant, really. Not done an awful lot wrong. But neither's Ian. And despite that scoreline discrepancy, he's right back in the match, or is he? Oh, that's a shocker. Ian has made a career out of not missing those.
To be really fair to Ian, obviously it's been a long day, as we all know, and that is a pool player's pet hate. Is if you play a positional shot off 2 cushions with a bit of side spin to land on the 8 ball, the only place you really don't want to land is absolutely plumb dead straight. A little bit of angle either way, and that shot becomes sort of, you know, a good 10 times easier, really.
Why
But
is
still,
that?
still one you'd expect him to get.
Yeah, why is that? Really? It's just because it's just
I'd love to know the psychology behind it, but it's just one of those things that you can, you can cue in balls all day long. But if you really wanted to test your cue action, you cue in dead straight balls. You don't cue in balls at angles, do you? Because you want to know you're hitting the ball plumb dead straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit of a let off there for Karl, and he's on the hill, and you've got to say it's uphill for Ian from here.
Yeah, isn't it just all that should you feel like just as an observer you'd be stunned if Ian can get back into this match.
You're either racking the balls up, or potentially you've got a couple of seconds when your opponent's racking the balls up. But yeah, there's not a lot of mental places that you can escape, really.
And scratching straight in off the break almost feels apt.
Yeah.
For Ian Ali there. A little wry smile. He's been around this game a long time, is he? And
Yeah.
it almost feels like the way of the pool gods, like the table was on a lean towards one of the pockets there after that missed 8 ball.
Yeah, and as we all do, as soon as he knew the cue ball was in, his eyes will start scanning the table to see how good a chance is left. I think Ian will probably have decided that he's unlikely to get back to the table. Is that reached?
Yellow ball's in play.
I'd recommend Ian stop watching. It's just going to be pain. It's just going to be pain.
Get on the tough ball now, I think.
15-second shot clock in operation.
Yeah, just a little bounce off the cushion has made this okay. The inch gap he's got, if he was dead on the cushion, this would have been really, really tough. That's a great shot. So Karl will probably feel pretty much like he's done now. Just want to make sure he tops this through enough. Or stuns it, sorry, for the 2 balls in the same pocket. Leave the one in the middle as his last. Good performance from Karl, you have to say.
Yeah, been brilliant.
Been solid, hasn't he?
Looks really dangerous. I mentioned at the start of today that if I was a betting man, and I reiterated that I'm not, there was some smart money on Karl Sutton this weekend. And he is into the Ultimate Pool British Open quarterfinals